Coronation Street's Sam Blakeman has begun slipping into troubling behavior as he struggles to deal with Megan Walsh's psychological manipulation in recent scenes. The ITV soap has shown Sam taking increasingly risky steps after Megan deliberately undermined his confidence in managing his schoolwork. Megan's actions form part of a wider plot to dominate Sam, who is also the only person to realize she has been grooming Will Driscoll. In the latest episode, Megan once again successfully misled her boyfriend Daniel Osborne after he spotted her messaging Will. The teenager had purchased a rugby shirt intended for their unborn child, with Megan hastily stuffing it into her bag before Daniel noticed. Later at the cafe, Daniel pressed her about her exchange with Will, but Megan brushed it off as nothing more than ordinary teenage chatter. Spotting Sam watching nearby, Megan quickly used the moment to steer Daniel's attention elsewhere. She claimed Sam had been behaving strangely around her and insisted he disliked her. Megan then told Daniel she had offered Sam help with his studies because he was falling behind, but said he had turned her down. Viewers are aware that Megan secretly stole Sam's essay from Daniel's marking pile, causing the usually high-achieving students' grades to drop. Daniel suggested stepping in to speak with Sam, but Megan insisted she would deal with the situation herself. Eventually, Sam approached their table to greet them, prompting a confused Daniel to remark that the exchange seemed completely polite. Megan, however, quickly dismissed Sam's behavior as fake and insincere. At the bistro, Sam appeared visibly anxious when a classmate approached him and handed over Ritalin tablets. Careful to avoid being seen by his father, Nick, Sam swallowed one of the pills on the spot. Megan's scheme to damage Sam's reputation as a model pupil continues to unfold, with Coronation Street producer Kate Brooks warning it will seriously affect his mental health. She explained that Sam begins to sense something is wrong, revealing just how far Megan is willing to go to control him and silence him, with devastating consequences for his well-being. Coronation Street viewers believe they may have uncovered a sinister secret surrounding Jody Ramsey, with some predicting a shocking serial killer storyline. Introduced in January as Shona Platt's estranged sister, Jody has already raised suspicions due to her evasive behavior about her past. Tensions rose this week when it emerged that her and Shona's father's health had worsened after first Shona and later Jody's mother walked away. The situation appeared even more troubling after Jody issued a chilling remark to her father shortly before he ended up in hospital. On Wednesday's episode, viewers saw Jody alone with a mysterious box filled with assorted personal items. Inside were a USB stick, a bracelet, and a locket containing 2 photographs. While fans speculated about who the children in the pictures might be, others questioned whether the box itself hinted at something far more disturbing. Many viewers pointed out how oddly mismatched the items seemed and began wondering whether Jody was deliberately keeping objects linked to something darker. A lighter labeled Jonesy, combined with the photos in the locket, led some to believe the belongings didn't actually belong to her. This sparked speculation that Jody could be a murderer, with the items possibly taken from people she had harmed. Taking to social media, one fan questioned whether the box held personal keepsakes or grim trophies. Another suggested it felt like a collection of souvenirs from disturbing acts carried out over the years. A third viewer summed up their theory with a single chilling conclusion, calling her a serial killer. One detailed post wondered what else might be hidden in the box, and whether it signaled another dangerous villain emerging on the street. The same fan admitted they were particularly curious about the contents of the USB and whether it connected to the ongoing Graham storyline. Another viewer noted that while most attention was on the locket, the remaining items could be just as significant. Speculation continued to snowball, with one fan asking if anyone else believed the trinkets were mementos taken from victims. Others shared growing concern for Jody's father. Following a recent scene in which Jody coldly stated she no longer needed him, Some viewers feared she might plan to kill him to keep him quiet. One fan warned that Jodi appeared to be spiraling and questioned whether her father was in danger. Another went further, predicting she could murder him and shift the blame onto Shona. Coronation Street viewers believe they have uncovered a major deception involving Mal Roper, and many are uneasy about what they think his true intentions could be. Fans of the ITV soap suspect the newcomer has been lying from the start, with growing concern that his arrival may spell trouble, particularly for Bernie Winter, as recent scenes have taken a darker turn. Audiences were shocked last month when a stranger appeared at Roy's Rolls looking for Roy Cropper and suddenly lashed out, striking him without warning. Only afterwards did the man explain that he was connected to Roy through a prison pen pal scheme, claiming to be the husband of a woman Roy had been writing to. Roy had joined the organization to exchange letters with inmates, believing he was corresponding with a woman whose son was behind bars. The cafe owner later agreed to meet this woman, but when he couldn't attend, he sent flowers as a kind gesture. Those same flowers were later delivered by Mal, who insisted there was nothing romantic about Roy's actions. However, Mal then dropped a bombshell by stating that he and the woman had been married for over 3 decades and shared 3 children. Later on, Mal was shown drinking alone at the Chariot Square Hotel, where he crossed paths with Bernie Winter, who was also out struggling to cope with her own grief. Bernie had been dealing with the devastating loss of her son-in-law Billy Mayhew, which came just over a year after the death of her son Paul Foreman. Their encounter quickly escalated into a chaotic night fueled by alcohol and drugs in Mal's hotel room. While Bernie later deeply regretted the incident, Mal continued to insert himself into her life by taking on electrical repair work at Roy's Rolls. Despite Bernie begging Mal to stay silent about what happened, she eventually confessed part of the truth to her husband Dev Alahan earlier this week. She admitted to the drugs and the night out, but chose not to reveal Mal's attempts to kiss her. When Bernie later told Mal she had come clean to Dev, he wasted no time turning the blame onto her husband. Mal suggested Dev was being unfair and subtly encouraged Bernie to question her marriage. Shortly after seeing Bernie and Dev together, Mal claimed that Roy's cafe required additional electrical work, giving him an excuse to remain nearby. Viewers, however, are convinced Mal's reason for being in Weatherfield is nothing more than a cover story. This theory gained traction after earlier scenes showed a mystery man posing as Alice while messaging Roy, long before Mal officially appeared. Suspicions intensified during a recent episode when Mal was seen spying through the window of number 7. Fans quickly took to social media to share their unease, with one viewer predicting a stalking storyline involving Bernie. Another described Mal as deeply unsettling and warned Bernie and Dev to stay alert. Others labeled his behavior creepy, suggesting he was becoming obsessed. One fan admitted they were disturbed after seeing Mal peering through the window and said the moment didn't sit right with them. Another questioned the entire storyline, pointing out how implausible it seemed that Mal would fake an online identity, attack Roy, abandon his home, move into a hotel, and suddenly fixate on Bernie. Further viewers questioned whether Alice ever existed at all, suggesting Mal had orchestrated everything from the start. Some speculated about who was actually in prison and whether the storyline connected to someone from Roy's past. Coronation Street continues to air on weeknights at 8:30 p.m. on ITV1 and is available to stream on ITVX.